Welcome back, everybody. 99 here with the Watch Party. We are bringing you the HCS Season 1 Championship. We are the Bravo stream today over on the Halo channel. They are going to have Cloud9 taking on Sentinels to determine pretty much if Cloud9 clutches up their pool. But on our side, we have got Falling. They are going up against Pioneers to see if they are going to be able to take the second place spot in their pool and go on into the finals. There we have it. You see the setup, and we are going to go in with Shyway and Tools. Gentlemen, you take it over.
Looking forward to it. By the way, this is like not really even relevant to the conversation, but I just noticed that photo of Regret is the beta version of the map. Can you tell the lighting is way brighter? That's something I noticed from Halo 5 beta is they had this lush, like bright lighting on this map. And then they changed it.
The lighting in the beta was so good.
It was so good.
Compared to what came out in Halo 5.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got a great game. And the UI was really was not the greatest in the beta. You know, you go back and you watch it. And it's a little odd.
For sure.
But the maps look beautiful. That being said, we are in the game number 1. Druck is going to be challenging over at this top green area. Needs to tail this combo player, but is going to get taken down. Great start for the blue team as they're going to be able to get this ball, hopefully, with the new combo. And oh my, Sab, the patient play pays off, and he gets some rockets to play with.
Ooh, and he puts them right to get used for a double as well. Why not pick up the needle or have it in the back pocket just to embarrass somebody? You got to put the fear in them. So Sab going to hold the ball. He's already got the setup. This is it. This is the textbook setup that you'd want on this side of the map here. Near the corner, he's got 2 options for a play position. He's got his teammates around him, and they are ready to start getting some kills and getting some time on the board. Things looking pretty damn good for our blue team to start it off. And you can see Envor's got the camo as well, so he can roam around free. He can get the info. He can also scare them out of the game as well, apparently. I was wondering why there was no pressure on the ball. I was like, somebody, do something here. So it looks
I'm
like,
sure they'll get a ruling or something, but a great start from this Falling Esports squad. The player I really do want to look for this game, Envor. I think he's going to be the impact player, right? If he can get those camouflages, if he can maintain those power weapons and do what he needs to do, I think he will be the reason as to why Falling Esports can take this game. I know you had KC Pioneers as your favorite. I think Falling Esports, I'm going to give them the bit of the edge for this series.
You watch the intro to an oddball game and you're like, damn, that's it. I'm inspired. it's going to be fun.
I was inspired previously. I didn't get the opportunity to shout out my boys at Falling Esports.
I know.
I thought they've been playing great.
You know what? I think this could definitely go either way, and that's why it's such a fun series. Is this one can definitely go down to Game 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. It will kind of rely on players, like you said, like Envor, maybe Musa to really show up and see what they can do. But like I said earlier, before we got into this series, KCP, they've won more. They've stayed together longer. They do have the trade out with Manny that's a little more recent, but the other 3, they gel together well. They're used to playing together. They're going to be in sync in these games coming up, and that's really going to pay off towards the later game, the later half of the series.
Yeah, shout out to NSYNC, popular boy band. Gotta be me. Love them. Might have a poster up on the wall behind my webcam.
No
you guys
way.
might never know. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Echelon specifically, Alex, because
favorite map.
It's a newer map, right? All these guys have been people that have been playing like the newer maps, Echelon and Refuge and Fissure. But what do you think the strategy for Echelon for these teams should be coming into this game?
Well, I wouldn't call it a newer map anymore. Right off the bat, I mean, power weapon, power up control is always going to be important. So if they're on that camo, they're on those rockets, those are going to be very helpful in giving them momentum swings. But really just kind of setting up with that ball wherever they hold it. There's a variety of ways they can set up in this map. They can hold it over to your Pelican. They can hold it over to your Red, like we saw in the opening of the game, or even in blue base, which is a little bit harder to play in blue, but you can really you can hole up in blue base and really hold it down for a while. So it's really going to come down to, can they control the power-ups? Can they put themselves in great spots, like setup spots, and then kind of have a formation that spreads out? They get perimeters on both sides and players pushing forward to protect that ball carrier while he's near a play position.
Absolutely. We're joined once again back with 90 and
Hey, what's up,
Dragonite,
guys?
you know.
We back.
It's good to see you.
So what basically happened there? They just were having some issues, so they went to yellow team?
I mean, I thought you
think
were
player
hitting them
lagged
with a DDoS, Nighty. It was all on your end.
I mean, I'm trying. I got some money on this.
Don't call him out like that, man.
I got some money on the line. I gotta help myself a little bit.
Unacceptable.
It's an advantage. Adapt, overcome.
What are the odds makers saying? What's Vegas saying about this match, 90? What are the odds?
Pretty much Pioneers runs the show out there, but hey, I'm trying to make some money, so I went big and I chose Falling. Falling definitely going to take this one. I got my money on it. I've got some things planned. Going to be you'll see.
Smart man.
He has nothing
knows what's
planned.
up.
He has no plans whatsoever. He's going to take a nap after this broadcast.
That is a fact. I am old. I need all the energy I can get.
When it does come down to money, though, I would give KCP the advantage in money matches as well, because these guys are grinders. They're playing 2v2 chows, 8s chows like nonstop. Not to say that Falling Esports isn't doing that as well, but I know for a fact, like I'll be watching Soul Snipe's stream. He's on a regular basis chowing, Renegade, Found in 2v2 matchups with Druck. Just recently, Soul Snipe and Druck beat Shotzi and Boo Boo in a 2v2 best of 5. I'm not even kidding. Shotzi recently got on, and he got beat by Druck and Soul Snipe. So these guys are playing incredibly well together. And if they can take that 2's momentum, put it into their 4's play, then, should be a pretty good setup.
I would hope so. I mean, you gain a lot of confidence off of that, a lot of confidence that people don't understand. It's like the little things in your individual improvement. Like if you're a player like Druck, who's had this momentous success in Halo 5. Like, you didn't hear much about him in Halo 4. You didn't hear much about him in H2A. He comes out in Halo 5. He's competing at the top 64, top 32 level, competing and getting 48th place. And then he teams with better players. He gains some good chemistry with them, and then goes all the way up to placing 5th. I mean, and now he's beating the best players ever in 2v2s. You gain so much confidence, and you gain a level of ability that you just can't find doing anything else. He's putting in the reps. We're going to see if we can get it started. Guys, take it over again.
We're back, right? Back to
Almost.
Echelon. And we saw a great start from Blue, right? We saw them pick up the noob combo. I love that patient play that we saw. I forgot who the player was, but he just lets the rocket player go ahead of him, pick up the ball. He uses that noob combo to go get those rockets. We saw incredible plays early on in this game. Hopefully we'll see some more of them as we start up this reset.
Yeah, and that's the thing about restarting these games is I wouldn't expect the team to predict a specific kind of starting strat based off of that first opening and then try to counter it. We could see very different kind of results as far as what they choose to do. But if both teams do the same things, I wonder if we're going to see any kind of counter, maybe a bit of a different opening here. But either way, Druck's going to fly in, and he will hit a beautiful reversal 5 to kick it off. So already, it started out a little different. It started out much better for KCP. They've dominated the opening strat.
I can just see Druck sitting in his chair shirtless with his glasses on, just pounding his chest after a fight like that. The exact same fight from the previous game. They reset, he ends up getting the 5 instead of getting hit by that noob combo. Great start from Druck. Falling Esports went 4 down, but they responded quite fast. They made sure that ball had to get played early on, and now we see Onboard playing Ring Around the Rosie at bottom pizza. He's going to find that kill, but the ball possession going in favor of Kansas Pioneers thus far.
When they do take down Druck as well, that's going to be a big pick to grab Onboard with. Look at this rotation from Onboard, taking this wide perimeter all the way around the side here, drawing the attention while his teammate has the ball. Going to try to rotate that ball as well. You can see those red players. They're going to try to ignore Onboard. At least the 3 of them did. And he's still taking some damage from behind. You're going to have to back out temporarily. Reach out right to the face of, I can't even tell who that is. It's Talik. He's coming in so fast. Talik will take him down, pick up the combo.
That was interesting. They let him stay in blue, and then they collapsed back in, trying to force out a split spawn for Onboard and the crew. It did work in their favor. They got the split that they wanted, but they didn't really put that to use. I think maybe because Onboard was able to put down that little bit of damage, stay alive for longer than anticipated, allowing his team to get back into position. But KC Pioneers have taken over the blue room. They could potentially get this ball and hold some time for it. But when you are in that blue setup, it's so important for one of of your players to spawn up, go get into that Pelican and block out that spawn, because it's so easy to re-enter and frag back in, just like Falling Esports did, because it went out and prioritized that Pelican and used that as a momentum to get into Blue Room and kill the ball carrier.
Great point. You can see that right now. Septify is actually sitting on Pelican, holding down that spot, so they don't get that easy spawn, that easy pressure. But in the meantime, the Rockets came up. Manny picked them up as a perfect counter here. Now he flies over to Pelly. The onslaught comes in. You can see 3 dead on the kill feed. And that's a camo in the hands of Manny and the Rocket to work with as well. So pretty great situation for him. New ball coming up as well, so he knows exactly where the enemy's going to converge. He can take his time, line up a couple plays here. He'll start with Pizza, getting right behind the enemy. Should be a nice kill opportunity. There's one on the Sap. In the meantime, they've got the ball. They're already holding on to it. Going to keep it on Pelican and stay alive, too. That's a double. And the protection on the ball carrier. So some nice time ticking in their favor here.
And this is massive for Manny, right? He got the Rockets and the camouflage, and he's used it to make a couple killer plays where he just takes down players that were potentially going to kill that ball, and they're getting a solid 20, 30 seconds of ball time that they probably would not have gotten if it wasn't for Manny playing that pizza position, getting the critical kills. And shout out to that ball carrier, I believe it's Struck, who used the drop back clamber animation to make that player miss some bullets and to keep that ball alive on the map. And they just put on about 40 seconds of ball time that Falling Esports did not want to give up. Druck eventually does get that ball off, and Falling is going to have to once again play for the reset. They're winning the slays across the map. Trades coming out from Talik and Musa, and they're going to be able to get this ball and bring it back towards Pizza. Now, just have a player over at that Pelican, have another player block off the top rocks, or potentially start to move yourself into blue and out-rotate the team. They need to have a great setup here and get some time. Unfortunately, Skeptify going to have to throw that off early on.
Yeah, Talik with a nice little rotation there through the bottom of Pizza. He 5'd him from behind, so forced him to play that ball a little earlier than intended. Now you can see Talik's got the ball in hand. They got 70 points and counting, and now they're moving into that same kind of setup position that we saw in the beginning of the last game, before we reset it. Either way, Talik going to rotate it closer to Rockets here. He's got a bit of a dilemma to work with. They got the Rockets coming up in a couple seconds. He does opt to play the ball, tries to get the kill, but gets back. That's 3 dead right there. Rockets going to be in the hands of blue, and hopefully they can recreate the situation that just happened to them with KCP. Just fly the Rockets over to Pelly, try to control that camo, and then they can get that ball back, then they can get that time. And there's the camo up. So he does get a trade, which is big, but can they keep the pressure up? Can they win the fight for camo? You can see 2 players in red flying over to grab it. I think Soul Snipe's the man to pick it up, and he does manage to stay alive. This little bugger just going to live on the Pelly. So great play from him. He's got a big opportunity here. Oh, but he squandered.
He did an incredible job to stay alive with that camouflage, and then got a little ambitious because he did stay alive, over-challenged over at top green. One of the, I'd say that's probably the only spot on the map where the player has an equal fight with camo is from that top from that top Pelly to top green area. This is an opportunity for Falling Esports to hold out some time. But once again, if you are going to hold this ball in blue, you need to prioritize breaking the Pelican. We saw that player get a split spawn and immediately put himself into that Pelican, but it could be too little, too late, as Kansas City Pioneers are pushing in, getting the slays across the map, and probably are going to force out a blue spawn for their own team, block it, and now they have their own hold. So far, both these teams doing a great job to get kills, but they haven't really able to find their one true setup, other than that one time where Kansas Pioneers had a great hold where Manny had to use camo and rockets in order for them to get the time that they did.
Right, and KCP might be forced to rotate here. Honestly, I think it might be a good idea if they take that ball, they bring it through red maybe, or try to get these slays at the same time. This is actually working out pretty well. Also, Manny decides to drop the ball and rotates out wide to get the kill. You're going to have to take a 1v1 with Sap, and that will be a trade. The ball's still down, and you can see Mike and Soul Snipe making a nice sneaky play from him to keep the defense on the ball. He wants to make sure he keeps the enemy off of it, tries to get the slay. He might have almost got the red bar right there. I got my camera covering it. There we go. He does manage to stay up. So a slight lead in the favor of KCP here as they just hold it down with the fisticuffs, trading back and forth. But new Rockets up. They're already in the hands of blue, I believe. Camo coming up shortly as well.
Opponents have the ball.
Every time it's gone to the critical fight, it seems as if Kansas City Pioneers have come out on top. This is the one time I've seen Falling Esports get a little bit lucky. That ball wasn't played in time. Now they have ball control, and they have the outside Pelican control when Camouflage is about to come up. If they can win their individuals, this could be massive. But once again, Soul Snipe, he got the last camo. He had it in the back of his mind, and he gets it. Musa had to drop that ball to play for that camo. I don't think he intended for that ball to fall off the the map, and all of a sudden that good luck that Falling had immediately goes away as Kansas City Pioneers execute on the plays needed.
Musa is wild, man. He dives into 2 players from behind, tries to get as much damage as he could, but not enough to get the kills. Manny, in the meantime, just barely living up with the ball here, and this was perfect. He collects more time. It's not over yet, but this is the type of setup that could seal out the game, or at least put it kind of out of the running if they really hold on to it here. You can see just passing that 120 mark, so we need to see some sort of concerted effort from Falling Esports to coordinate the resources to get some sort of a pick. They're starting to do it. All 4 up right now as they fly through pizza, so the ball's already been played. They've stopped the bleeding just a little bit here. They got an opportunity to get some points back in the board before it's too late. But can they win this Slays here? Ball already picked up by Red. Played once again. So a bit of a hot potato situation here as they try to win the favor.
Yeah, Falling Esports wants to get back into this game. They have to get a true setup hold. They've been playing extremely scrappy. They've been doing a great job of coming back after they go 4 down and breaking into the Kansas City Pioneers setups. But they haven't really been able just to hold the ball for an extended period of time without feeling the pressure. And this could look like the first setup where they could potentially just get a great amount of time. They need to kill these players coming over from the pizza and bottom lift area. If they can do that, they should be able to hold this for an extended period of time. Great double kill from Septify. Moose is going to lose his fight in the bottom, and Envor is going to have to play that once again. But that was a solid 20-25 seconds that they got right there, and now the game feels as if it's in striking distance.
However, at the same time, they kind of gave up rocks as well. You can see Soul Snipe has the rockets, and he's going to look to make a play with those, or at least defend the ball. Camo's going to be up shortly as well, though I believe Blue is in position to take control of that. Still a relatively close game, so Falling Esports can definitely pull it back, and it's going to come down to that Camo. You can see Soul Snipe making that rotation around. Drug has it, or at least he's got the opportunity for it. He's getting blasted by a couple, but this is the timing Soul Snipe needs with the rockets to come in and just disrupt everything. That's 2, that's a double, that's a triple from Soul Snipe as they grab the ball and probably seal it out here, Tool.
I mean, that was an unconfirmed triple kill, right? I think he had a teammate take a little bit of the brunt damage with that rocket that he sent out. But that rocket, I mean, he played very patient with it, and because of that, that should reward his team with a victory, barring some insane play from Falling Esports. And as I say that, they backsmack the ball carrier. They have 3 players in blue. They should be expecting the pressure from that rock side as we see Envor standing over there and looking for the kills. But what they did not do is they did not block the Pelican spawn. So although Drug was challenging from the rocket spawn, there was no one there to stop the influence at Pelican. That was the safest spot for all these players on Pioneers to spawn, and they're going to be able to challenge this ball carrier relatively fast. But Envor has to go massive. The individual play gets the triple kill, and this could be the momentum needed. They have the Pelican spawns. They're rotating the ball out towards Pelican. Top green player is going to take him down. And Falling Esports, was it time?
No,
the game
it did
just
not
ended.
Look like time. It would have gone to overtime.
I think what happened is that there was X amount of time. I think they weren't playing a full reset because of the original reset.
Did they actually? No, but the opening was wasn't it Falling winning in the beginning of the last game?
Yeah, they won. They were up 27 points.
Oh, so you're saying Falling just won it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Falling Esports took it
despite being in that losing position in that game. That was very tense. I guess they only had to get to that specific point mark. So 130 is what they were looking for. Very interesting turn of events right there. And honestly, I guess it comes down to Envor and that massive triple that he got to just keep that ball in play. It was very scrappy there in that hallway, but Envor came through. He got the ball. They got the last seconds they needed.
Absolutely. I mean, shout out to Falling Esports for taking that first game. 150 to 141, I think, would be the final score. That they had to make huge plays to get back into that game at the end. And shout out to Envor's triple kill, because that was the catalyst that really allowed them to get that final time. Kansas City got a great spawn over at that Pelican. They had the ability to break in. They were getting their kills. Envor comes in, sweeps up 3 of the players that were weak, grabs that ball, and throws it off the rotation for them to get enough points to win the game.
What an interesting situation, though. I guess it does make sense. The opening strat in a game like this is so pivotal, right? If you win that opening, you get that first 20 seconds, then somebody lags out. Like, it does kind of make sense that you deserve those points. Like, it's a crucial opening strat that you got to win, you got to hold on to. And especially when we saw what happened when they restarted the game, and it was the complete opposite. KCP just took down everybody and then got ball control themselves. And I guess it kind of does, make sense. Either way, we can see the total scores here. And as far as slays go, you can see both teams just taking each other down relatively close in the slays category. Manny with 24, though, as kind of a new entrant on KCP, looking pretty good in the slays. But you got to also hand it to Druck, to Sab, to Envor for going off.
Yeah, I mean, Envor, I think he's that critical player. If he's able to play the Halo that he wants to play, that triple kill puts him into the positive. He made the impact play. Sab, we've seen him just slaying this entire time. One thing I do want to see a little bit more from Septify, right? He had the least amount of ball time on for his team. He had the most deaths and the least kills. Not his greatest game. You know, maybe he's the entry fragger. Maybe he's having to do a little bit more of that dirty work. But that's some great mental resilience from Falling Esports to do to be able to come back and win that game.
Maybe Echelon Oddball just isn't his map, you know? Because I can relate. I can relate if that's the case. I'm not a huge Echelon Oddball fan. Either way, Septify, we know he's a talented player. He's got 2 more chances at the minimum to really showcase his stuff. But so far, I mean, he's doing his job. Falling Esports, if they win game 1, even if he's getting low kills, as long as they're getting those W's, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But KCP definitely going to be making a bit of a comeback here. So it's an exciting series, Tools. I could see this easily going to game 5.
Absolutely. One thing to point out, well, Falling Esports, I guess they were down technically in time. They did win the game, but they definitely got outslayed. They had to bring back, especially in the beginning half of that game, they were getting slayed like unbelievable numbers. They really had to bring themselves back into that. If we could go take a look at the best of 5, I want to see what we have next on the plate, as we're going to be having Regret Slayer. The classic one, right? I think every time anyone thinks of Regret Slayer, we always think back to that Evil Geniuses CLG match from X Games.
Yeah.
I love Regret Slayer. I know you're probably a huge fan of it with the amount of cool little movement tricks you can do on Regret.
Regret is a ton of fun to move on. It's one of my favorite 2s maps, but as a 4s map, it is a little chaotic. It does get kind of frustrating at times, and it's very snowbally, right? There's a ton of momentum that you can pick up and just swing the game almost out of nowhere, especially when you grab that OS. And it's something I'm expecting to see in this game coming up. KCP, they've played this map time and time again. This is usually a map that we see in the grand finals of our esports arena tournaments. So it's always a deciding map when they play it. And they're great at playing this map, though. At one point, I know Soul Snipe got his ankles completely broken. He picked up OS, got ninja'd by Bound. So we don't want any of that happening. I guess we do want that happening as casters. But but we could definitely see some crazy momentum here, and it can all play off that starting strat. If they get that OS, they get that round of slays, they're going to lock them into a base. They're just going to suffocate them off the start of the game.
Give me all the ninjas, right? We saw a ninja earlier on Bound, speaking of the devil, where he got
he acted like it didn't happen.
But, man, Regret Slayer, I really do want to see these teams. Like you said, it's a snowball map, and that's because you can just force so much control, especially how fast you can play on this game. I want to see them really getting up, creating long perimeter plays where you have a player over at P2, you have a player ready over in the car, and 2 collapsers coming through the middle and just apply immense amount of pressures in the base and get them on spawn cycles over and over and over again. And then just see both the teams have their opportunities for the snowball, but we'll see who ends up getting this overshield off the rip as we are in our game 2 between KCP and Falling Esports.
Druck gonna kick it off. He doesn't care about the OS at all. He was flanking his way through. The OS looks like it's been burned. We see the dead body of Musa here, so I'm gonna assume he was the one who flew for it. Either way, he spawns back up. Gonna try to put some pressure in, but relatively even start here, though. The advantage looks like it's going over to Red, and Musa missing a couple spring jumps. That is a rough situation to get caught with your pants down.
Hey, you know, some people don't like the scoreboard method, but that's when the scoreboard method would come into handy. Just misses the angle on those spring jumps. Soul Snipe and crew are going to be over at the red P Street. They need to break back into this top mid. Although they are up on the kills, they do not have the map control. That is in the favor of Falling Esports. Soul Snipe finds a critical kill on Sab up in that top mid, but it gets pushed back by his nade, and KCP are just stuck in the back of this red base, and they are losing pivotals right there. Musa with a critical kill over on that P door.
Musa's got to watch his I don't even know what's going on. I was going to say Musa was about to get back smacked, but Druck somehow ended up in front of him and then behind him again, and somehow Druck came out with the win in that fight. He'll make his way over to Pink Street, challenging Musa yet again here, and big shots coming out from Druck, and that'll put them to 13-7 on the board here. So nice advantage as KCP get back top half control. Blue side for the spawns here. They can try to get some sort of a setup.
I mean, great resilience from KCP right there. They did not have map control. They broke back into that top mid, and now you can see when they did get the map control, the collapse is real. They pushed through. Unfortunately, Druck is not going to be able to win that fight over at the P tunnel. Manny will come and pick it up, but that timing loss that they had because of Druck's loss on that P-Street, it's not going to let them continue the spawn trap. They're going to have to once again jockey out for this top mid position, and Soul Snipe is just not missing right now as he lasers Musa, and then he gets Sab to go on top of it, the double kill, and there's another player that he could potentially challenge in the back base. He's not aware of him, but he gets the help for Druck as Envoy comes from behind and takes down Soul Snipe as the overshield gets stolen at the last second from Envoy. Envoy was that player that was in the base. He got the flank kill, and now he just made the critical grab for the overshield to keep his team within striking distance.
Big grab from Envoy for sure. You can see the players in blue base right now. So Envoy, he does have a bit of OS, just a little bit left to work with here, and he does get a stick. I mean, you don't even need an OS if you're going to land sticks like that, but he'll fly forward. Damage in from both sides. That's a double, looking for more blood here, but will get taken down from behind despite the energy, the pressure coming out from Envoy. We still do have a lead on the side of KCP, 25-17. Falling Esports climbing just a bit here. Manny now on our screen. You can see top map control being taken by blue team here as Manny makes his way up the car. He's got Talik picking off one. Gonna put some damage into red side car. This should be a nice little collapse to collect more slays. There you go, Druck with one. We got another player trapped out bottom mid. This is just the momentum on their side, 28-17. Now they're forcing blue side spawns.
Yeah, KCP, one thing I think is going really well for them is even when things are going bad, when they don't have the map control, where they don't have the ideal situation, they play so well from the bottom advantage. They make sure that they get the kills necessary to break through and to reestablish top control. They haven't let Falling Esports really just get that snowball effect from maintaining map control. Because I'll say right now, Falling Esports has done a wonderful job getting back to top mid and making sure that they have control of the map, but they haven't been able to collapse and find the kills on KCP like they'd want to. And KCP is still doing what they do. They find 3 kills from the bottom half of the map, and they, all of a sudden Falling Esports is ripped away from their map position, and it's going to be another fight to secure top mid for KCP.
It feels like Falling are kind of creeping their way back into this game, but every time they do, KCP just get a couple more slays. They keep that lead in their favor here. You can see another trade on the board between Manny and Septify right now. Talik going to take down Septify, 35-27 at this point. A pivotal OS about to come up here. Red in position to grab it, and I think they might be getting it. You got Cell, who just picked it up. That's Manny with the OS now, so great opportunity here for Red Team with a 10-kill lead to extend it even further. Manny with the pressure here. He's got the caster right in his face. That's the ultimate weapon to have to take it down. But, man, oh my God, Manny. Make him feel the pain.
Let him know.
Last time Manny did this, though, he did this against Flyers. He shot the body of players on Flyers, and they almost lost. They went down to 49-49, and Flyers made like a 10-kill comeback. So, Manny, I know you're feeling confident. It looks like they got it in the bag, but you never know.
I think just don't give any fuel for Falling Esports for Game 3, right? I mean, for KCP, for Falling Esports Game 3. Falling Esports, though, I mean, luckily for them, they've taken that Game 1, right? I want to say they stole it away, where it really looked as if KCP was just going to dominate that Game 1. They were able to find that time at the end, so they're not going to be down 2-0, which I think is going to be really important for their mental. They're going to be able to come into Game 3 feeling a little bit more of a fresh slate, and it's all it is KCP just waiting for their opportunity to find these next 3 kills and to move on into that 3rd game. Because I'm not going to... There's no chance of a comeback from Falling Esports right now.
Especially when you see how far these guys are committed into center map right now. Somebody's going to get traded out. Druck got 2 victims in front of him. And there you go. 2 melee kills. Soul Snipe. Druck gets it as well. That's 50-33. Narrowly avoids the stake. But honestly, it felt relatively close at times. There were a couple moments where I felt like Falling were really bringing it back. But it came down to that final OS. The moment they grabbed that OS, Manny had it. I mean... started to go off with it. Soul Snipe, look at 19-6 out of that guy. So hitting all of his shots. We saw it when we were on his POV. Just KCP came back with a force in this game.
Yeah, unfortunate low light for Musa A right there, the Canadian player.
He's been having some, yeah. That's the roughest so far.
Yeah, he needs to be a bedrock, right? Like his floor, like he has a high ceiling, but his floor just needs to be a little bit higher. You can't afford to have a game like that. It's especially in a Slayer where you're building yourself too much of a deficit to come back from. I hope to see him bounce back specifically on this Coliseum CTF, and we're going to see some high octane action, I'm sure, from Coliseum. I love the ability of teams just to collapse in, really try to overload certain sides and get overextends into flag. One of my favorite ways to play this map, as we are starting with a 2-2 push for Rockets and Sniper off the start. A bit of an unusual start.
A little worried about falling in this Coli CTF game type because KCP are so confident in Coli CTF, and they always send 2 rocks. They overextend through rocks. Look at Mikey's doing it already. He's typically the first guy to grab flag, and he's already grabbing flag. This is the tried and true strategy that KCP will go for in Coli CTF, and they do more often than not. They get away with it. They get that first flag in the first 30 seconds. But so far, it looks like Falling offended the pressure. I believe that snipe actually might not be off the map. It was, oh no, it is. It was temporarily in Septify's hands, but no longer.
Yeah, one important note about that, the overextend strap that KCP uses, it's so vital for that player to win their initial gunfight on rock side. The whole goal of that is to win your initial fight on rock, overextend, and then because you have rock control, you can easily get that flag back and score within the first 30 seconds. But because Druck lost that fight at top rocks, man, he's still with the disrespect. They weren't able to really put that into play in the beginning of this game, and maybe that's going to be a little bit of an edge for Falling Esports. Falling Esports, 3-man pushed over on the snipe side. They're starting to head back to the base as they see the overextends coming from the rock side. As we've seen KCP very confident on their rock side plays. We've seen them triple stack up the rock side over and over again. We'll see which strategy comes out supreme this time as we see a flag grab from KCP. I think this is going to be a cap as long as they get a couple kills on this map to ease off the pressure.
Great overextension from KCP. You can see Soul Snipe, the man running the flag once again. He's typically the designated flag runner. He made his way all the way to blue base. He got that flag, pulled it out just far enough, but it looks like a counter pull's already in session. Nice little 1v1 happening in the base here, but Soul Snipe going down. His teammate will pick up the kill. That flag's still in play. They're going to try to get the return here, and Soul Snipe with a big defensive kill. So still an opportunity for KCP to pick this up and make it work. It might start with the Rockets here. Druck's got them. Druck actually looks like he's preemptively making his way over for the next pull. Might have already given up on it, but actually, what am I saying? That flag's in. That's 1-0 on the board. My apologies.
A great job from KCP to make sure they got it in. I think Druck just died underneath the base with those rockets, so Septify is going to be able to pick up those rockets and head over to the rock side. One thing we definitely see from KCP is they are favoring the rock side push, and I'm a huge fan of it, right? Get into the rock side, push in with those rockets, push in with each other, and get the pulse through the elbow as you get quick and easy caps that way. I think that's a big reason as to why they got their first cap thus far into the game. As we see, Falling Esports push is cut short as Druck lands a beautifully placed nade to take down 2 players, and we see the overextend. The counterattack from Druck and his teammate over on Snipe side could spell another cap for KC Pioneers. Sniper coming up in 5 seconds.
Very unfortunate collapse for Falling Esports on red base right there. Didn't quite work out with the timing. Druck, what happened to you right there? I don't know if he got backspec or what, just completely turned on Musa in the meantime with the snipe. Now Musa 2-13 in the last game. This is his opportunity to prove himself. I mean, the snipe, he could pull off some beautiful plays with this, so he just has to get position, just find those picks, listen for those callouts here. You can see 2 players pushing up through snipe side as Musa makes his way to sneaky, whiffs the no-scope. That's Druck, fellow Torontonian up in front of him. Gonna try to get this kill here. He does. That's big. He can hold on to snipe, but the flag out from red as they try to take it through rocks, and he gets killed from behind, so this flag might be crucial here as Soul Snipe tosses it silver to silver. He's gonna stay up and trench. I like this play from him.
Yeah, Soul Snipe, that was a cerebral play right there. He realized his team was coming back towards the rock side to take care of that sniper player, that they were going to take the advantage. He got it to the opposite silver, and now Manny's able to get this flag in, and Talik was able to pick up the sniper, and now they can relay another flag potentially right down the middle or through the trench once again. Talik with the sniper rifle is going to beam everyone, and Soul Snipe is going to be able to put that 3rd flag in. Shout out to his cerebral play to really set them up for a 2-flag run. Great job by Soul Snipe.
That was gorgeous. Just tossing it over, knowing that he didn't need to be the one to take position on that flag. He can just rotate over through trench and get that perimeter position. His teammate spawning up can grab the flag, collect it, put it in. They're already set up for the next cap. You said it beautifully, Garrett. That's textbook Halo right there. They held on. They made it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the rule book. The roadmap on how you play a Coliseum flag. And I'm curious as to whether next time we see this following esports squad in future tournaments, if they're going to learn how to play Coliseum a little bit different, maybe they can take the some learning tips from KCP, because KCP, that was textbook. You overextend the rock sides, you keep 2 people there, you block out the rock spawns, pull the flag, forcing the spawns into cave, running that flag through the trenches in order to get easy caps. They got 2 caps that way, and then to realize the pressure on the map where the space is for Soul Snipe to readjust himself to go silver to silver there, to take care of the sniper rifle player, take that off the map, keep that aggression, and to get them set up for the next flag cap on top of that. Yeah, that's one of the cleanest Coliseum games I've seen.
Yeah. And this is where KCP's experience as a team really comes into play. Like, they've been doing this time and time again, week after week in Esports Arena. This is how they've been winning games. Coli Flag is honestly one of their most confident game types, and they're constantly going up against teams like Inconceivable, Sentinels, Cloud9. So that experience pays off, and we don't quite have that, despite having the talent on the side of Falling Esports. These guys are a little bit more recently assembled. So kind of rough for them, but Strongholds, Eden, our next match in the series, potentially the final one for Falling Esports in their tournament life, and he doesn't get camo in that opening strat right there. It looks like nobody has it just yet, but Falling in position to pick it up early and start the game, hopefully on their favor.
Yeah, great job by Falling Esports to get the 3 down and Septify. He should be, I want to say he stopped from picking the camo up right away because he wanted to make sure he and only he had the time for it. We'll see if that plays an impact later into this game, but massive 3 down and getting the camouflage on top of that, being able to use this to get your first couple holds, and now that camo player can go out and he can challenge this blue bend with the camo and potentially keep them in the trip cap. This is a critical one-on-one for Septify to win. I want to see him go back and challenge. He does just that, gets the reset. Although he dies, it's going to keep the trip cap for just a bit longer. They're going to lose Catwalk and Red Nest potentially. Oh no, once again, huge trade from Sab to keep the pressure on. So those 2 plays, those 2 trades, even though they just lost complete map control, they went 4 down for a moment, they're going to be able to keep points on the board and still apply pressure to KCP, as KCP is going to have to leave their position and play out for Blue Bend in order to even just get points on the board. And we see KCP not able to get it. Falling Esports, they're playing scrappy, but they are playing so smart and making sure that they keep as many points. They're just milking out the points that they can potentially get off this first hold.
They're such a nuisance on the map. They're just about to get the capture, and then last second, somebody from Falling Esports just dives in, gets the crucial trade and the reset. And such an annoying situation to be in if you're KCP, but it looks like things have finally reversed themselves. Though Septify up on top cat, going to try to cap it once again. I don't see anybody here to stop him just yet. You got to fight with Envor, though. Envor looks like he's holding his own. There's the push that comes in, but a little too late, though. They should be able to very quickly retake Catwalk, maybe Blue Bend at the same time. We might be able to see a bit of a trip cap situation depending on how well they play this, but Envor looking to upset that, making his way to Cat. He says lost his teammate Sab in the meantime here. He might be in a bit of a rough situation. You can see they control the outside spaces as well here, and Envor taking pressure from multiple sides. Gonna have to back down while the OS and the camo come up yet again.
Yeah, the camouflage should be coming up momentarily. I think KCP expected it to be up a little bit earlier, but Talik was just able to put that onto his body, as Struck has the overshield to work with too. So if KCP wants to get back into this game, this is exactly how you do it, right? You get control both power-ups, you get the rockets to go with it, and you use those to get your opening kills and to start applying your pressure. This position from Talik could be dangerous if they end up getting the trip cap. He'll be ISO'd over at Blue Bend, where he's responsible for it by himself, and then sit and be able to rotate into whatever hill he needs to with that camouflage and find kills. He unfortunately is going to get lit up from the red window, is going to go down, and this is a great answer from Falling Esports. They're able to handle the overshield and camouflage plays, and they even put themselves into a trip cap for just a bit longer. They could potentially keep it in their favor if this kill goes into the favor of Falling Esports, but man, he's going to shut that one right down. He's going to be able to maintain the Blue Bend control, but so far Falling Esports playing a cleaner game thus far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Definitely looking that way so far. 43 points and counting to 26 on the board here. Manny might be in a bit of trouble, though Soul Snipe there to help him out. Another 1v1 in the tower. He will get taken down. That's Musa back in our POV here. So just looking to defend Popcat, defend Red Nest at the same time. You can see Blue Bend here. Red players over on Blue Bend side. Musa aware of it. Gonna put some shots in. Just keep them back. Hold on to these points here and keep collecting time. Things looking great for Falling, though. Pressure going to come into Nest in just a second, though. Musa and try to deal with a number of different circumstances here. You can see Envor getting a nice kill on the feed. Nades into Nest. Gotta also back off Red Cat at the same time. So Musa trying to do everything, and unfortunately he could not succeed, though they do have Red Nest. So points back on the board here for KCP as they fight hard.
And that was a real first slip-up I've seen from Following Esports right there. They decided to challenge out towards the red side, try to keep the pressure over at Red Nest when Blue Bend was not captured for them yet. They just need to go, rotate out to Blue Bend, keep 2 players towards Cat that are playing slow and passive, where they can just hold on for as long as possible, get your rotation, and then play from there. Now, KCP is going to be able to have this 2-cap. They're going to get the overshield to go along with it, and they could potentially start pushing themselves into a trip cap, and that's what Manny's on the way to do as he's pushing into this blue base with the eventual end goal to get out to blue outside and collapse on these players over in Turbine.
And I wonder if Falling will react to this by going over to Red Nest immediately, or they're going to try to challenge Blue Bend. Kind of a tough situation here, so you can see now they're going over to Red Nest. This rotation is going to continue to happen for Manny here. Going to try to push up with his teammates, put some pressure on Red Nest, hold on to this trip cap as they very quickly close the score between the teams here. Now 48 points and counting. They got a crucial reset on Red Nest as well, so very quickly this lead's going to evaporate. KCP got all the momentum on their side as they take the lead yet again here.
Yeah, KCP had the textbook hold for Eden Strongholds right there. They were able to get those slays on the outside, then force out the red catwalk spawns while the enemy team was getting red. That allowed the players from blue to push forward into the mid half of the map where they didn't really have to face any of the pressure. They got the reset at on Red Nest, and then were able to get the slays into red catwalk as well. Huge kill from Onboard. That's going to be the opening pick that they were looking for. Now he's going to be able to apply pressure to Red Nest, catwalk, and Blue Bend at the same time. KCP is going to be spread out thin, though KCP just got a huge chunk of time with those plays that they made earlier when they put them into that trip cap. It's going to be a hill for Falling Esports to climb, but they've been doing a great job thus far.
Thankfully, KCP managed to stop Catwalk in what was almost a very quick trip cap there from Falling Esports, but Onvor, not letting up on the pressure. He does get naded in Catwalk, so that's going to be left half captured. 78 points and counting here for KCP as they do hold on to that lead. You can see a battle happening outside. Rockets now up. Camo OS coming up as well. Maybe the last Camo and OS in the game here, especially with these nades coming across the map. You got Druck Talent getting 2 picks. And push up, try to get that OS. Druck in position to grab it, but the Rockets come in and a steal from Blue. That's Sabinator with the melees as well. He'll get that kill. Hold on to OS for his team here, and maybe they can make that transition to the tower. He'll start with Blue Bend.
And that was absolutely critical, right? The huge play from Sabinator as he had the Rockets. They don't even have a coach in their comms from the last time I checked. He had to keep that time in his head. He used the Rockets patiently, was able to get that kill and stop the momentum from KCP as KCP's pushing out the red bend, trying to get the collapse over on these players. Septify able to put on some damage, but Druck is able to stay alive with that camouflage, and that might do it for KCP. If he can stay alive with this camouflage and just keep himself in a mid position where he can go wherever he's needed, they could take this game. Druck from that bottom position, though, not going to be able to get the catwalk in time. If he finds both these kills, it could be over as he does do just that. They're capturing Blue Bend at the same time. That's going to put them into the trip cap, and it's going to be too little too late from Falling Esports to get back into this game. The trip cap going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I don't see them coming back from this. The points are just escalating way too quickly here. 98 and counting. At this point, it is mathematically impossible, and it all comes down to that one final play and that camo from Druck.
They got it.
What? I take it all back.
They forced a red split spawn. A player was able to get in there in time at 97 seconds, isolated cap. But we see 3 players from KCP pushing out to Blue Bend right now. Musa's going to be the most important player on the map. He has to lay down massive amounts of damage and keep these players away from the Blue Bend. We see him shooting the pre-fire into that blue door. 2 players still going to be trying to challenge out Musa, not missing his shots, single-handedly keeping these players away from the Blue Bend and stopping them from cap. But they've broken through. Musa hasn't been able to stop them from now on. 3 players get in and they're able to cap it and get the victory. Musa not quite able to hold up the isolation play, but man, so close from Falling Esports to make that happen. KCP with critical trip caps that won them the game.
Man, that's the thing about Strongholds, is it never fails to surprise me. I looked away. I saw that there were players trying to cap Blue Bend, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's over. So I'm not even really looking at the time on the capture. Next thing you know, they cap it. They're holding it down. Musa right there fighting for his life with the light rifle, but not quite enough. They throw 3 into Blue Bend. So great little team stack right there in the end to just recapture, get that final point in the board. You can see Soul Snipe 20 and 13. Soul Snipe honestly playing well the entire series here. His team doing pretty great also. And Falling Esports, great series from them, though unfortunately they couldn't bring it to Game 5. They couldn't close it out.
And definitely all the games were very competitive, right? I didn't feel as if there was one team that was just head and shoulders over the other. Just a couple critical plays missed. Once again, I think that Coliseum CTF, though, incredible game from KCP for them to take that. But the
that one was dominant.
oddball, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that you can't ask for a better play on Coliseum CTF.
Right.
That's just textbook.
Yeah, the moment you get a call CTF with KCP in their series is a moment that KCP must have like kind of, I don't know if I want to say breathe a sigh of relief, but you know they're so confident on that map that they were just going to clean up shop, and that's exactly what they did. Of course, Eden Strongholds got a little scarier. Falling actually made a massive play at the end when they snuck in and they grabbed OS. Sab grabbed OS. He's holding onto it. They made that rotation to blue band, but the one hole in their plan was they left tower in the meantime. There was no real opportunity to get there. Druck got the camo, made a massive play to swing it. So.
Yeah, and what was KCP going +6 on the kill feed for them? That's going to be, I think, really what put them over the edge was the fact that when they got the trip caps, they really just pushed Falling Esports into a cage. They kept them all collapsed, and they would get 4 kills at a time, right? I think if you just take the scrappy, normal play, Falling Esports probably outslayed KCP, but because of KCP's trip caps and the map pressure that they forced upon Falling Esports, that's really where they took over on the kill column and got the majority of their time. They really played an efficient style of Halo where when they did get their map control, they are able to extract 40, 50 points at a time, where Falling Esports was playing that consistent 2-cap hold where they were going for the trip caps, but they weren't quite able to hold the trip caps quite as well as KCP in that last game.
Right. And I mean, they started out great. It was KCP had this one trip cap that they held on to. They changed the score halfway through. It was around 54 points or so, where KCP really turned it on. But overall, that means that KCP and Inconceivable are going to make it out of this pool. Unfortunately, Falling Esports Flyers, their tournament life is over. But I mean, every single team in this tournament at this point, everyone's a heavy hitter. Everyone is at the top of their game. So you can only expect, some people aren't going to make it.
And I think that's a good time for me to come in. Boys, that was a great one. Yeah. Oh, my God. That was fantastic. We've got the 4 teams now. We have Cloud9, Sentinels, Inconceivable, and Kansas City Pioneers. Those are the teams going into the bracket play. It's going to be a single elimination into the finals. Let's see, the teams that are going to be matched up, that's going to be Sentinels versus KCP and Inconceivable versus Cloud9, if I'm correct, if I can do my math accordingly, of the top 4 seeds, looking at the map wins.
Did the Sentinels and Cloud9 game finish?
Oh yeah, that's going to matter about
that'll matter. So if Cloud9 wins, that'll put them at the 1 seed. Sentinels currently sitting pretty at that 1 seed, but Cloud9 could potentially take over that spot. And if that's the case, I expect we'll see Sentinels versus KCP and Cloud9 versus Inconceivable. And to me, I think that Sentinels KCP game, with how KCP played in some of those objectives, how efficient they are being, we could see them potentially steal a couple games and make that a bit of a series. But I don't see anything stopping Inconceivables thus far from what I've seen from that team.
Yeah. That is pretty much it. That's what we expect, is Inconceivable to take it. But like Alex said, any of these teams at the end of the day are capable of the championship. KCP probably being the underdog. I would love to see them go on into the championship matchup and have some rock'em sock'em games with these boys. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. I honestly don't. Alex, what do you think after seeing that last game, that last matchup? Do you think they have the momentum going into this bracket play?
They have some momentum. I don't know if they have the momentum. That's the thing, is that Inconceivable and Sentinels are so consistent right now. And when they're just like consistently dominating the way that they are, it is just almost impossible to stop them. So you kind of want to predict that it's going to be those two going up against each other in grand finals. But KCP, if they get the right maps and game types and they're really feeling themselves, like these guys can play. They can hang with the best in the game, especially when you get a couple Callie CTFs, though. I mean, every team is pretty damn confident in Callie CTF. Like, you think Sentinels, Callie CTF, they're incredibly powerful on that map, too. So you never know. Maybe even Fathom CTF as well. Like, these CTF games, I'm telling you, KCP, they're just exceptional at all of them. So any of those is kind of an advantage to those guys.
Yeah, what a tremendous showing today. I'm glad that we're seeing that these guys are proving that staying together, staying through the thick and the thin with your friends, the people that you have you spend your fun time with. You don't get on to. It's not like just pure business anymore. Like you are getting on and having fun with these guys. These guys are like your brothers. You're basically in a great business relationship, but also you have great friends that you can rely on. That's what KCP is proving really comes out on top at the end of the day. Soul Snipe, Druck, I remember hanging out with them in Florida at the Daytona event. I think it was like 4 years ago. And they were so close. They were so cool with each other, and they've been playing with each other nonstop. And I know Manny was teaming with them for a long time as well. Tolik's kind of the newer guy with this team, but those three for sure have been playing Halo together for almost 5 years. And you love to see that pays off, because it's something that we need to see a lot more of. It's already proven with Sentinels that sticking together for a long period of time through the thick and the thin and really working things out can really have a lot of benefits. And I'm just so happy because Pioneers is a new org inside of Halo that is gaining a lot of momentum inside esports with their Rocket League team, and having a 19-year-old CEO. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, just our whole story is fantastic. Going into this, I really hope that they can see some success.